Hey there, welcome to the Profitable Mindset Podcast. And today's a very special episode. I've got one of my clients, Erica Benoit from the Benoit Family Farmstead on today to talk about her experience working with me over the past almost year now in 5X Your Farm Sales. So welcome, Erica. Take a moment and tell us who you are, where you live, what you farm, and give us your farm website too, so they can look you up if they want to.
So I am Erica Benoit. We live in Centralia, Missouri, which is basically central Missouri. My website is benoitfamilyfarmstead.com. We are just a 30-acre farm. We have Dexter cattle. I have some like Jersey crosses that I milk some of those. We do butcher chickens. We do fat hogs, laying hens. I do a lot of like subscription model, but also I do like whole and halves of hogs and beef and try to sell bulk as much as possible.
That's awesome. And you have how many kids?
I have 4 kids. Yep.
Yeah, I always like to point that out because you're
Yes.
like so many other farmers. What are their ages?
Oh goodness. We got 11, 9, 6, and 3.
Okay, so 11 and under, 4 kids running the farm.
Yep.
And we'll talk about this more later, but the most recent exciting news is your husband was finally able to quit his factory job because of the success you're having on the farm. So we'll go into that more later, but I wanted to start off by letting everyone know it's possible to have a family and learn the skills to make your farm profitable. So let's talk about that. My program, 5X Your Farm Sales, why did you join? Like, what were you struggling with that made you think you needed help?
So I've been following you for many, many years. I saw you recommended on a Facebook group for farmers. I have I listen to everything you put out, anything you do, I pay attention to, I implement it. And I also took farm marketing from the heart. I think that was 2019 that I took that. And that got me my website. I was able to build that myself. It got me to a point where I felt like I couldn't get any further. Like I needed just a little bit more to get me to the next step. And so I knew about your program. I've listened to everything you had about the program, and I knew that that's what I needed to make the next step in our farm life.
Yeah. What specifically, like you knew, was it the mindset? Because it includes the mindset work that holds so many people back, along with the marketing training and the time management. So, was there one specific piece that you were like, oh, that is exactly what we need?
Really, just making the profitable. Like
Okay.
we were making money, like everything was going, but there wasn't any extra. Like everything was just coming right back to the farm, and I couldn't get past that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, after being in the program, then I realized goal setting was really what I was missing. Like we had our goal of Jared coming home off the farm. We've had that goal for 9 years. But after learning the steps to like take that goal and really break it down, figure out what we needed to do at each step in order to get to the ultimate goal. And that was really what seemed to put us over the edge was sitting down together and imagining what our life was going to be like with him being home, uh, just imagining what we wanted our life to look like. And then we implemented it right
Yeah,
away.
because and did you use my specific goal setting exercise that has you
Yes.
envision that at the end? I
Yes.
love that.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you're just an example of one of many who, when they use that specific goal setting process I teach in there, people reach huge goals. I remember doing it with a client back in like 2018. I walked her through it and she had 5 big goals, including retiring her husband from his monotonous day job and paying off their mortgage and having, years of savings in the bank. And she has reached every single one of those goals because it's the way it aligns with, psychology and all that. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
And then I know that because you joined about 10 months ago now, or
Yeah.
9 or 10 months ago. And I know that you loved the time management portion of it too. Talk about that.
Yes. Used to, I guess what they call a hot mess mom. I was all over the place. My mind was all over the place. I wasn't sleeping at night. I was constantly just like reeling about things. I'd wake up in the middle of the night and just think about things over and over and over again. I couldn't sleep. Um, but yeah, the mindset, that's where I started. You tell us
Yeah.
to always start at the time management part. And just started writing things down. I started with your scheduling book.
Yeah.
Um, Basically just writing things down and not trying to remember everything I was supposed to remember with all the kids, with school, just everything going on. I couldn't keep track of it. And then I was missing orders or like I could not stay on top of anything.
Mhm.
But yeah, just following the time management and slowing my mind down and not
Yes.
just bogging it down constantly helped out so much to me, just be able to think clearer and make decisions a lot faster and a lot easier.
Yeah. Yeah. And I teach all of you how to write everything down on Sunday or
Mhm.
a different day if a different day works better for you. But most people take a little bit of time Sunday afternoons. They write everything down they have to do on a list. And then I teach you how to schedule it, whether it's for the following week or month or next season. Get it out of your mind because those things you loop on at 2 a.m. are those things that are, once they're written down, even if it's written down in project management software that's free to use for months in advance, you can wake up at 2 a.m. and just calmly tell yourself, hey, it's taken care of. I teach you how to do that. Like that's the process. You decide ahead of time, you get it written down, and you throw away your to-do list. And you don't live by that to-do list anymore. You can be confident that everything is scheduled.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing how you write it down and I don't think about it anymore. I know I'm gonna remember it because it's written down.
Yeah.
It's amazing the difference it makes.
And isn't it amazing? It's just a simple thing. Like the things I teach you in there are simple, but if you tried to Google time management, you would never find all the psychology and the mindset stuff that's in the larger perspective that's included in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. How how has that changed your family life too?
I think it's made me and Jared's communication a lot better. We can write down what our plans for the day. Even just making like a financial budget, we're able to write that down, and both of us talk to each other about it. We've never been able to just sit down and do that together. Um, Even just little things like breakfast with the kids. It was always chaos at breakfast time. And so on Sunday, I get the kids together and we make breakfast meals for the week. So when I get up, the meat's thawed out. Everybody knows what we're having for breakfast, and it's not like chaos every morning. So just the little things have helped out so much.
And what's crazy is they seem like little things, but it's what's made your life flow with ease.
Yeah.
Like these unintended consequences that are beautiful, unintended positive consequences. Like I teach mind management, and look now, you're sleeping through the night. You don't have the stress and anxiety. You have calm meals with your family. You're communicating better with your husband. You're having financial discussions that you've never been able to have before because of what I teach in 9 short videos. Like I just want to emphasize to everyone listening, they'll that I've had so many people in this program say it's magic, and it's not magic, it's science backed, but it acts like magic in your marriage and on your farm, doesn't it?
It does. Yes, it
Yeah.
does. Yeah. Even like the goal setting, like I actually got Jared to sit down and we made goals together. And before it was just like he wouldn't do any, you know,
That's
he
exciting.
didn't wanna
It's
do that. But
and it's good for me to hear this too, because so many of the farmers out there in listening to this are farming with a spouse, or maybe they're not farming with the spouse, but they're home running the farm while the spouse is out. And there are things that are missed. There are things that, because you're on the farm all day, if you don't get it out like this, you forget to have those conversations, and it could be very frustrating that they just don't get it
Mhm.
because they can't, because they're not there and they're not in your brain. And yet this has given you a way to communicate, learning this, learning time management is learning communication skills. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, how
Yeah.
it all plays out. Have you seen spillover to your kids?
I have, based on the way I talk to them.
Yes. Okay.
My oldest is such a sensitive, sweet little boy, and when he was going to school this year, he would get so worked up over his tests. And I was able to be like, just break it down for him, even how to study, just like teaching him how to study too, where he wasn't taught that.
Yeah.
But even just to like ease his mind, like, what's the worst that's going to happen if you fail the test? It,
You
it really didn't matter.
you
Like,
so
you get a lower
all
grade and that's it.
Yeah, which is a common thing I ask in coaching questions. So you're taking the coaching you hear me offer to everyone every week and using that with your kids and changing their lives too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and able to just, whenever they're upset, to think more, not just to react to them being upset, to think deeply about, was there something that changed today? Were we really busy today and that's why they're acting out? Or just really breaking down of why they're acting the way they are, and not just get on to them or yell at them, just really just slow everything down and figure out why.
Yeah, instead of what, many of us were raised with is just like shaming us for
Right.
our behavior. Instead, breaking it down to see there's a logical reason you're acting this way. And now it's just a problem to solve. It's
Yeah.
nothing to it's yeah, nothing to shame anyone over. Yeah, it's wonderful how families' lives change going through this program too. Let's talk about your success. You joined because you wanted to get your farm profitable. You knew the program could help you. Tell us about the success and get us to the point where your husband is finally retired from his factory job after 14 years, I think you said, which is crazy.
Yes.
Walk us through that.
So in August, I joined. Um, it felt like we were living basically paycheck to paycheck. We were saving some, like it wasn't actually paycheck to paycheck, but it wasn't far off of it. Um, we are we pay for everything in cash. We've never gotten a loan for our farm, none of that. We paid our farm off 2 years ago, and we cash flowed our entire farm. And so that's where a lot of our money was going and why we were living so poorly, basically. Um, and then we started paying ourselves. We just started out $200 a week. That's what went into our savings account, and that was for us. And that's how we started saving. Um, our expenses are extremely low for our home, and so that $200 was enough to cover all of our bills each month. Just like our
Wow.
electric, our insurance, like we don't have to make car payments or house payment. And we realized, well, we've already, up in from probably September on, that's what we were doing. And then it dawned on me, well, this can actually happen because we're already using the farm to pay for our bills.
Mhm.
And then we just needed a little extra. And but in the meantime of paying ourselves, I realized how hard I would fight to pay ourselves. If there was a week that, oh, we don't quite have that $200, I would I'd make more posts. I would try to sell things to our email list. I would basically just hustle a little bit harder,
Mhm.
and I made sure that we got paid every week. But just kind of the mindset of you can do this and
Yes.
it's going to work out and you have to do this was a big shift and really taught us that we could do that. And
Yeah.
then we started saving even more from his paycheck. We would just like stretch ourselves as thin as we could just with saving. And then we were able to save a year's worth of or year's worth of expenses to get us to the point where he could quit, and we have some wiggle room. I don't have to wake up in the middle of the night stressing about money because we have something to fall back on now. um
That's so exciting and so encouraging to other farmers. And it is the mindset. It's so like if you had to make payroll for your employees, you would hustle and you would do extra posts because you owed this person money at the end of the week, and just shifting your mindset to treat yourself with the same respect
Yeah.
is everything. So then tell us, now that you're profitable, he's home, what's that like?
Um, so we're also homeschooling the kids next year now that we're all home. Wednesday was their last day, so they've only been home a couple of days, but I cannot explain the amount of freedom that we all feel right now. Just
Mm,
the middle of the day, we can go swimming if we want to. Like, we've
yeah.
done our chores, we're caught up on farm work, and we can all just have a family swim day. The kids are just relaxed, like, they are in their zone all the time. They know we work, and then you have fun the rest of the day, and they get to be kids. Uh,
This
just
is this lifestyle. I hear it so often in the 5X Your Farm Sales farmers. They go through the program, they have this lifestyle. It is unheard of out in the farming world. Like I just want everyone listening to know. So I watched my dad toil 18 hours a day, and end up with nothing at the end of the year. You, there's you don't have to live that way. That is not the prescription just because you're a farmer. It just means you haven't learned the skill of building a life like you've now been able to build, Erica. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. What does that mean to you? Like when you take your family life now that your husband's home, you're a family together all the time, and you have the communication skills to work through challenges, and you can get done with your day and go swimming in the middle of the day. Compare that to 2, 3 years ago when he's going to his factory job. And what is the difference? What's that mean to you now to have this?
It's a lot less stressful. Before, like 2 years ago, we were all summer long, we butchered chickens every 2 weeks, and we butcher 1,000 chickens a year. Me, my husband, the kids, we're moving chickens daily, and we couldn't do anything. Our
And
summer was
he was
dedicated to that.
he was going
And
to his factory job every
yeah,
day that he probably didn't enjoy, and then butchering chickens every weekend.
yep, yep,
Yeah.
and so we couldn't do anything. Last year, after listening to enough of your podcast, I we decided to butcher once a month. We butchered 200 chickens 5 times the summer, and once a month we made a little family trip, just a day trip, go swimming. We went somewhere, and that was just life-changing itself to just decide to go somewhere with the kids off the farm. And
Mhm.
that just got the ball rolling of we have to do this all the time. We have to spend more time with our kids. That's quality time and not just working all the time.
Yeah, and the tools in 5X, you have all the tools in 5X Your Farm Sales to create that in your life. Like the
Yeah.
time management, the mindset coaching, the goal setting. They all work together to create this beautiful life you've created.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Oh my,
freedom. Freedom's like the best word to describe it.
yeah.
Just I don't have to listen to anybody. My kids don't have to listen to anybody but us. My husband's not going anywhere, listening to his boss, coming home stressed. Like it feels free.
Right. What's it mean to him? He's not going to a factory job anymore. Like you said, he's his own boss. What
Yeah.
are your vibes you get from him now that he's not doing that every day?
It's a lot of fun to watch him. So I was
Yeah.
stay-at-home mom for 11 years, and while he was working, and he's tending to realize why I am the way I am. Like one day he'll be like, "I don't even know what day it is." Like,
Yeah.
welcome to my life where it doesn't matter what day it is. All the days just seem to run together. At first he started like picking up the house and like really helping out with the little things that he thought I needed to be doing each day. And now we're just like the house gets dirty every day. There's no sense in picking it up that clean every single day. And so he's really just like relaxed about a lot of things, and it's fun
It
to watch.
it sounds like you guys are living so much more in the moment. You're present.
Yes. Yes.
Present to each other, your family, the rhythms of life. Like who cares if it's Monday or Friday or
Yeah.
Saturday? You're living in the rhythms of life, which is such a peaceful, grounded way to live.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so excited for you. What
Thanks.
else? What else in the program? What else do you love about it?
I really like the marketing. We haven't really talked about the marketing,
Yeah.
but that really knowing how to make the sales is very important. I feel like as farmers, we're always focused on the farm side of things, like making
Mhm.
sure we rotational graze the cows and making sure everything's as natural as possible. We really focus on the farm part. But I've found a lot of customers, they don't care about the farm part like we do. Like they don't know anything. They just want really good tasting food and they'll pay for it.
Yeah. And they care, but they trust you that they don't have to learn. They
Right.
trust you that
Yes.
you have taken care of that. That's what I teach that you
Yes.
guys, if you listen to the podcast long enough, you hear me teach that they don't want to hear about your farming practices. They want to know you can help them. They want to know you get them, you understand them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
That's wonderful. So, tell me about okay, I told you this at the beginning. I would love for you to speak to the woman because it's usually women who sign up. We do have men in the program, but it's often women who realize that something needs to change in their life. They're like you. They're like, "Okay, we're not keeping any money at the end of the year, there's no money. We're doing something wrong. Marketing feels terrible. My life feels terrible. I'm waking up stressed. You covered everything. Like it helps you with every single area of your life,
Yeah.
including making money. Everything gets better. But people are still hesitant to invest in themselves. They don't know if it will work for them or their specific farm. What would you say to people who are wondering if this is for them?
Well, I fought signing up for the program for probably 2 years. Every time you'd send out your emails, I knew I needed to, but I just couldn't do it.
Do you
It was
remember
so
why you didn't?
there was no money.
Okay.
There was no money. But when I actually signed up, I had a group of hogs I was getting ready to sell, and we already were higher than everybody else in the area. We're selling more than everybody else in the area, and I'm like, I'm raising my prices $50 a hog, and I'm getting them sold. And I'm like, Charlotte's going to teach me how to sell these at a higher price,
Yep.
and I'm going to do it. And that's what I did. I paid for it, and I knew that money was going to get replaced,
Yeah.
and it did.
Yes, and it's a money-making program. So,
Yeah,
the investment you make, you're going to make back many, many times over. How
yeah.
soon do you think you made it back? Just curious. Your $2,500 investment.
Um, so I started in August, and I pretty much immediately started selling hogs. So I would have had that money back within a month.
Yeah.
I mean, not like per head count of the hogs, but the fact that I was able to sell the amount I was able to sell in
Yeah.
that short amount of time, yeah, it didn't take long to get it paid
That's
off.
That's wonderful. I want people to really hear that. I've had other people who just take my free stuff. I have so many free classes. They take the free classes and they make the money ahead of time just from the free. They're like, if I made $2,500 from the free training,
Yeah,
I wonder there's just infinite potential in the paid program, which I
yeah,
believe there is. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
What what would you say to that woman who also has a hard time investing in herself? She thinks the $2,500 should go to her kids or a tractor or a cow or whatever. What would you share with her?
Well, I'm extremely cheap for myself. Right now, my overalls have holes in them. Like, I do not spend money on myself. I don't carry a purse. Like, none of the things that normal women do, I do not do for myself. So this was a farm expense for me. Like, that was the only other way to get our farm to be profitable, to get my husband home. And I feel like I wholeheartedly knew that you were the one that was going to help me do that because I've followed everything you've done. You've gotten me to the point where we were so close, but we just couldn't get over the hill to actually make it work out for us. So I mean, it's a farm expense.
Yeah.
This is part of the farm. It's tax write off. Like it's gonna work
Right.
out.
Yeah, it's a farm expense, and yet you sleep through the night and your stress is gone, and
Yeah. I didn't
you
realize all this would happen so quickly.
yep,
Yeah.
yep, it's amazing. Well, you've had amazing results. What's next? What are you guys tackling next using that you're using the program for?
Yeah. Um, so I gave myself a year. I gave myself a year of not trying to save a bunch of money, not trying to expand, not I'm a year of waking up to the birds singing, drinking a cup of coffee with my husband, and just relaxing. Like
Good.
this took us 9 years. We've been running a marathon for 9 years, and finally we've been able to stop. And so I'm just trying to embrace the moment and really, really enjoy everything. Um,
Wonderful.
so in the next like 5 years, I would like to have a farm store on our farm.
Mm.
I would like to have a like a small butcher shop for chickens where we've maxed out on the amount that we can butcher ourselves. So that's got to be the next step in order to grow. Uh, yeah,
Wonderful.
just enjoying life.
And I wanna point out, without revealing too much, you guys are in your 30s.
Yes,
You're gonna
yes,
have decades, decades of living life in a way that most people don't get to. Stress-free, the stress will come. Farm stress still comes, but you have the skill now to deal with it instantly and let it dissipate and get back to the rhythms of farm life that you so enjoy. So you guys, it's changed your life forever, for your legacy.
yeah, and our children's life. Yeah, I'd really like to build our business up, like for our children to expand on, because our kids are with us every day. They already know what animal they want to raise when they're older. And yeah, the big ultimate goal is for my kids to be able to continue this life and they don't have to go work at a hot factory all summer and build it from scratch. Like, I really hope that they're able to expand on what we've created if they want
Yes,
to. They may not, but if they want to.
right, but it's crucial in the farming world because a lot of farmers' kids don't wanna take over because they aren't making any money. Their parents are broke and working long, long days, and the communication problems, the stress make it a very unattractive lifestyle. You have changed your legacy. You've shown them the opposite. You've shown them that farm life can be sustainable and manageable, and you can have an amazing family life where you're all together. I just think it's such a gift, such
Yeah.
a huge gift that you're giving yourself and your family and the world. And you're an example of what's possible for other farmers too. And I love to say that you're not a unicorn. You're a normal human being. It's not like you have a thousand IQ and that's why you're able to do this. Like
Yeah.
you and your husband are I don't wanna I wanna say, like, you're a unicorn in a room of unicorns. We're all unicorns in our own special way, but you look like we all look alike in this group. All the
Yeah.
farmers were so similar, and it's just that you dove in and were willing to be vulnerable and say, "Hey, there's a skill I lack. I'm gonna go learn it." And then you learned it, implemented it, and here you are.
Yeah. I feel like you really, maybe in a roundabout way, you teach us not to use excuses. There's no excuse to raise your price. There's no excuse to say, well, inflation's so bad that nobody's going to buy my products. And that really helped out too, of especially with selling and raising prices, was there's no excuse.
Yeah, people decide what they're gonna pay for.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's somebody that's going to pay for it.
Yes, yes, and they aren't the elite wealthy. They are the people who you have taught to value your farm fresh products, and they will prioritize buying your products over other things. They will we still sacrifice other things to buy the farm fresh food that we want to eat, and other people will do the same. And I teach you in the marketing program how to teach that value to other people. So good, which comes back to the mindset. The mindset stuff you learn in the program
Yeah.
is what makes you able to do it. It's what
Yes.
makes you all special unicorns in there is shifting your mindset. You can do the things, you can pay for the fancy website all day long, but if you don't shift your mindset, you won't get to success. It's crazy how that works.
Yes, yes, yes. And I grew up very poor, very small, poor community, and everybody told you were just told the poor's poor, you're always going to be poor, you know, there's no way you can make it in life basically. And so having that mindset I feel like really held me back, but after being around your coaching and the other farmers, I really, we're in charge of our own fate. We don't have to be the poor farmers. We can choose the life we want to live.
Yes. And look at this, your kids are not going to be raised with that mindset you were raised with and you overcame.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be raised way more abundantly like, hey, anything's possible. You want to be an astronaut? Go be an astronaut because I can pay for your college. Because guess what? We have a profitable farm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. Any last final words, successes you want to share we didn't touch on? Anything else?
I don't think so. I think we covered a lot today.
Good.
It's fun to talk about. Sometimes I don't really think about all of these everything that's happened. Everything just happens so quickly. So breaking it all down has been fun to talk about.
It is something I teach you all too is you have to stop and celebrate to create more of it. Like the way you're going to create more success is to acknowledge what you've done in 9 months in being in this program. And again, you're not the only one in the program doing it. You're in here learning the skills that everyone can learn and have this kind of success.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I so appreciate you sharing with everyone. You're a wonderful example of what's possible when you decide to learn the skills of building a profitable farm, and it's life changing for you as a person, too. All right. Thanks, Erica.
Thanks.